Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll give it about another minute to allow attendees to finish logging in. All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. Today, we're excited to present a how-to demonstration of how to create stained glass effects with UV printing. Today, we're excited to welcome Kim and Garrett of Kim and Garrett Make It.
Hello.
So a few housekeeping before we get started. All of the attendees, your microphone and your web camera and the chat are disabled. This webinar is for you. We love questions. If you guys will look in the upper right-hand corner of your toolbar, you'll see a little question mark icon. If you select this, you can enter any questions. We'll certainly try to discuss these during the webinar. If for some reason we cannot, we'll actually reach out to you post-webinar. We'll be glad to discuss those with you. During the webinar, there's several screens that will be shared as well as videos. Within those, if you click and hold the cursor in between the video screens, you can make each of the videos larger or smaller just to make it easier to see any of the screens. So today we're going to be demonstrating on our LogoJET UVx90R SE. You can see there behind Kim and Garrett there. This is a 24 by 36 UV printer. It's got CMYK white and clear gloss capability, which we'll be using for the demonstration. This machine has up to a 6-inch head height as well, so obviously that allows for multiple different types of materials to be used on the printer. This has a built-in vacuum bed. It has a rotary capability, a lot of unique features that makes this machine capable of all sorts of applications, from stained glass like we're doing now to golf balls to poker chips to large packaging, virtually all across the board. And we'll provide you more information about the machine near the end of the webinar. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the team. Again, we've got Kim and Garrett of Kim and Garrett Make It. They will be performing the live demonstration. Myself, my name is Josh McNaughton. I'm the VP of Technical Solutions at LogoJET. I'll be moderating. We also have Sumita Patel. She is the Customer Engagement Manager at LogoJET, and she will be assisting with questions and answers. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Kim and Garrett.
What is up? Welcome back to another LogoJET webinar.
And so if you're not familiar with us, we are Kim and Garrett. We have a YouTube channel where we do DIY videos every week. We're really showing you how to make money with your laser and your UV printer. So today we wanted to talk about stained glass because stained glass is super popular. And it's really a cool product that you can make with your UV printer, maybe something you hadn't really thought about. We do a lot of printing on a lot of different substrates. And of course, you can print on acrylic, which is what we'll be using today. But did you know that you could add texture and really take your prints to a whole other level?
I mean, there's big profit in here too. So with just a couple of cents or like a $1, $2, you have a $25 product. So we're going to show you a couple of different ways and a couple of different levels of doing stained glass today.
Right. So let's start with why stained glass. What is stained glass? Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Get up a little bit closer.
Well, traditional stained glass is done with some lead lines and some actual glass that is cut to shape and then formed into these designs using lead to hold everything together. It gets heavy. It's hard to do. It's expensive.
Definitely breakable.
It's definitely breakable.
But you're using different types of glass. So they're using stained glass is typically different panes of glass, pieces of glass you put together to form a piece of artwork. And so that stained glass, each of the different types of glass that you're using that's different colors is going to have a different texture or look to it. So you're going to see different variations in color in the ink. So as we think about replicating stained glass, what would we do to replicate that? So you might be thinking, well, can't you just print color on clear acrylic? So let's talk about that and show you a couple things. Let's start with process number one is, can you print color on clear acrylic? Yes, you can. So you wanna do your step one, gather all your materials. If you watched our channel, this is how we do our YouTube videos typically.
So step one, we're gonna gather all of our supplies. For this project, we really just need some acrylic.
We're going to be using some clear acrylic. We've already cut this. Our acrylic is from Houston Acrylic. We're using the 12 by 19 sheets, and it comes in 1/8 inch. We've got the 1/8 inch acrylic here. This 12 by 19 is $5.49 a sheet, something like that. And we've already cut it. We've already cut it into this design. You can see we've created a couple of little holes up at the top. I don't know how well you can see that in the camera, so that you can hang it. And it's just an 8 inch circle that we've got here. So the first thing we're going to do is.
Well, that was it. That is all the supplies we need.
Your supplies. And that is it.
That is it. Step two, we're going to prep our substrate or our acrylic to accept the ink. You can print on the acrylic, but if it's not completely clean or ready for the ink, it can flake off.
And you've seen me holding this one and handling it, so you know I've gotten fingerprints.
Or greasy little paws all over it.
Greasy little paws all over it. So we're going to be using a jig today. I'm going to go ahead and start to prep the material. I'll tell you what I'm doing, but can you talk about the jig a little bit and why we're using a jig?
Well, I enjoy a jig. You can print on the bed and line it up. I've seen that. Kim loves to do that. I enjoy doing jigs. Now the jig will come with, you have access to jig files when you get your LogoJET. You get this whole library of files, and it comes with the jig. So you can bring it into Illustrator, import your design, export it out of Illustrator, and it'll give you this jig. Now, I love the jig because slide it in and go. There's no lining it up. Literally 2 seconds.
So the purpose of using this jig today is so that we can just remove this material, put a new one in, and hit print. It's always in the same spot, and we don't have to make any changes. Our design is set for a jig, and the material is set for a jig. So that means we can do multiple copies, run many of them at one time. We can put 2 on a bed at one time, but for today's purposes, we only have 1. We've got screws on the bed. Let me just show you the jig since we're going deep in the jigs.
We're getting jiggy with it?
Yeah, since we're getting. Thank you. We've cut ours out of acrylic because we want it to be the same height as the acrylic substrate. So I just used a clear piece of acrylic. We've got screws in the bed. So there's 2 screws here. And I don't know if you can see that clearly. Other camera, this camera. There we go. It's just a little screw. It's screwed down on the bed. This is going to hold your jig in place, and it's easy for me to just place it here. I can unscrew these if I'm doing some other material. I'll unscrew these. We actually keep a magnet. We have a little magnet right on the front of our LogoJET, and we keep the screws right here. That's super convenient. Here, it's going to hold it up and show you.
Yeah.
So let's put our material in our jig. And then the first thing I'm going to do is clean it with a little alcohol. I'm using 99% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just trying to get any of the fingerprints off of it, any of the oils from my fingers.
You know, get the crumbs from the bear claw this morning off of there.
All my sweet treats this morning.
Sweet treats.
And then that's going to dry in seconds. And now I'm going to put a glove on because I am going to use an adhesion promoter. So let me grab that, and I'm going to show you right here.
Oh, wrong one. Yeah.
So here is the LogoJET adhesion promoter, and I'll be using this to make sure that the ink sticks to the acrylic and doesn't come off when you're, because UV ink is weather safe, it can go outdoors. You can handle it. You want to make sure that you're adhering your ink to your substrate. So I'm going to just put a little of this on a lint-free cloth, and I'm just going to give it a quick wipe. And it is a very
potent.
Yeah, super potent, very strong smell. but it dries quickly like alcohol.
It smells like a nail salon.
Phew.
Hey, while you're wiping that, Kim, it's always common questions. We've had a few in the thread. What are, regarding acrylic, obviously you don't have to use promoter for every applications. How do you guys decide, okay, if it's something outdoors, I may want to use promoter. If it's an ornament, I may not. Can you kind of describe that?
That is exactly it. If it's going to be handled a lot, so if you're using something that's going to, so if you're going to be using a tumbler and someone's going to be handling it a lot, you want to definitely use an adhesion promoter on that. In this case, this is going to hang in a window. It's not really going to be handled a lot, but it is going to have some UV light hit it, UV rays from the sun, because it will be hanging in a window.
Could get
it could move around if it's windy or something like that. So in this case, I really just wanted to show you that you can use an adhesion promoter and apply it to this acrylic for demonstration purposes today. If I were to do an ornament, so we have an ornament version here. Let me go to this camera.
Yeah,
Here's a little ornament version. I probably wouldn't add the adhesion. Actually, I didn't add the adhesion promoter to this one.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and print an image. I think we're going to stick with our American flag image today. We have a couple of different images. You can reach out to us and we'll be happy to give you all of the files. I think, Josh, were you able to upload any? I'm not sure where we landed with that one.
The software is being finicky. It wasn't accepting the Photoshop file. So
oh, okay.
I'll provide a link at the end of this. I have a bunch of files. So there's like a bee, American flag, a hummingbird, a cardinal, popular ones that sell well. I'll provide a link.
Some texture files, lots of different options. Okay, so let's go ahead and print color, our flag color.
Yeah, we're just gonna go color.
So we're gonna move over to the Cathari software and show you how we do that.
I'll start by importing. Oh, this is your software. Switch with me.
I am going to go ahead and turn the fan on the printer before I forget and walk away. We've already set the printer to the correct height. I've already done an auto adjustment. It does auto adjust its height. I've already done that for the clear acrylic. And now I'm going to turn the front fan on. This keeps the substrate adhered to the bed so it doesn't move. With a jig, it's unlikely to move, but just in case.
Just in case.
So we've already loaded it. What size are we at? I haven't.
8-inch. It's jig.
Oh, it's the jig. You've already loaded the file. Okay. So we have already imported our images in. So up here, we would use the import feature to import our images. We're going to be using several different files here in a few minutes, but I'll talk about those in a moment. So this is our American flag color, and the design is in the jig file. So you can see that the design is the square of the jig that we have, and then the image is positioned in the middle, just like the acrylic was. So in this case, we're going to choose our white color clear, and we're going to go through our print properties here, and we're going to just print the color. I'm just going to do one layer of color and see what that looks like. Because if you're printing this and you're thinking to yourself, hey, can I just add color to clear acrylic? Well, let's see what that looks like. We're going to do 2 layers of color. Is that what we decided to do, 2 layers?
Yeah, let's try 2 layers.
Okay. And let me make sure I've got everything else set correctly. 2 layers of color. We're going to do 12 pass, 1800 resolution. That's going to give you a very detailed resolution. But for purposes of time today, I'm just going to dial that back a little bit and just do 8 pass, 1200. Still going to look great. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think
I don't have a ton of detail here. And then I'm just, because I changed my environment. Now this comes in, your images come in the way the bed is set up. They do come in kind of upside down. I'm going to rotate it because of the position of my jig. I just rotated my image so you can see now that the flag is positioned or oriented correctly. And now I need to do this again because I adjusted my environment. Oh, everything is
it
still
should have-
set.
yeah.
Okay, great. Let's hit print. We can see in the software that it is printing, and now you
There
can
we
see the
go.
printer go.
It does have a cap that goes over the head here, but I kind of like how it looks all industrial. I really enjoy how close the ink sacs are to the dampers.
All right, that's just going to take about a minute. While that's running, yes, to kind of elaborate on what Garrett was saying, this does have a cover, so you can hide all of these dampers, and all of this would be hidden. But for maintenance purposes, so I can see if there's ever an issue, which we've never had an issue in the year that we've had it, we leave it off just to keep an eye on everything. And then, of course, you can keep it closed while it's printing so that you don't see the lights and all of that. But for today, we're going to leave it open and exposed so you guys can kind of really see what's going on here.
Leaving it raw.
It is important to have enough humidity in your room, and because it's been winter, we have a humidifier in here to keep the humidity where it needs to be. But it's
Wrong camera.
Oh, wrong camera. It's almost springtime, or it is springtime, and I've had no humidifier in here, and it's now at 51% humidity.
During the winter, we would come in and it would be like 10% humidity, and we'd get fuzzy prints.
Yeah.
So we had to amp up the humidity to get the ink to lay down right.
Kim and Garrett, while that's printing, we had someone who missed the first few minutes of the webinar, and they were just wondering if you could kind of recap how you cut the jig for this piece.
Yeah, that would be great. So in the LogoJET, in the installation files for LogoJET, you are provided a jig file. And in this case, the jig, which is basically a cut file or a rectangle the size of our bed.
With the screw holes already mapped out.
Right, with the screw holes mapped out. That's what makes this a jig, so that you can attach your frame to your bed using these screw holes. So we add the screws to the bed. They already come with the screw holes in the bed, and we're just gonna screw the screw holes. I can show you while it's printing. We screw those right into the bed. Oh, you can't really see me.
Oh, I can back up.
Let me back it up.
Back it on up. There you go.
There you go. Can you see here? So there's 3 here. There are 3 in the middle and 3 at the top. Actually, there are 6 in the middle, right? Because you can create a jig for half of the bed and a jig for the other half of the bed, or a full bed jig, which we've never done anything that large where we needed a jig. We really just keep it this size. And so here we're cutting a frame to set on the bed so it doesn't move. This frame will stay here. And then when we create our images, you create.
So I brought.
Yeah, you could go from
the
here.
jig actually comes in a PDF, so I'd open the PDF in Adobe Illustrator.
You can put the camera on us so we can talk to them.
I thought they'd want to see
It's almost done.
Awesome print. So the jig file comes in, I believe it's a PDF. I bring it into Adobe Illustrator. I set that as a layer, and then I set up my image with all my cut file pieces in there. And then I'll export that whole thing as an SVG. Then I'll hide my cut pieces. I'll bring back my print pieces, and then export that as a PNG or save it as a TIFF. But I'll save it as my canvas size, which the canvas size should be
the size of your
the size
jig.
of my jig, and then I'll export that as a PNG.
So right, when you export it as an SVG, that becomes your cut file. So now I know that I'm going to cut. The most important thing about that file is do not move the screw holes.
Do not move the frame and screw holes.
So we have the outside set to the size that I want, and the screw holes stay exactly where they are. and then we place our image on there so he knows exactly where to cut out where our substrate is going to lay. And then we take that SVG over to the laser, we cut out, and we created the jig. In this case, the first time you create the jig, you actually have your materials right there too. What's that?
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus, yes. But going forward, now all I have to do is print the 8-inch circles, and I can just lay them in this every single time. And then yes, the print file, when you open the print file is in a square this size. We're using this size jig. We'll keep the artwork in the middle where the cut was, and then you export it as the art bed.
Yeah, PNG, save as artboard, save with artboard.
All right, so
we have a video coming up. I'm going to do that exact thing in the video. So
right. So every Friday we have a new YouTube video. This week's video, aren't you going to turn it around? That's the print side, right?
Yeah, this is the print side. Non-print side.
Mm-hmm.
Shiny. Print side. No, it doesn't look bad.
You're thinking, oh, that looks good. That looks like stained glass. But it's clear, and you
everywhere there was white, you can see right through it.
Right. So let's go ahead and print another version of this. We can do it better. So if you add a little bit of white behind this, those colors will pop. You see how the reds, the yellows, you can see them, but they're a little dull. Now, if you add a very thin layer of white under this color, I want to show you what that'll look like.
All right, you load that up, and
So I've already added. You want me to print the white? That'll just take too long. Let me just do the color on this white.
Yeah,
one.
Just show them what it looks like, and then we can show them how you did it.
Okay.
And then we'll print the color.
So here are pre-prepped. Here's another clear piece of our acrylic. This is what we started with. I have pre-prepped this with one layer of white ink.
At 8%.
At 8%. So that's why it's still translucent. You can see through it. But by adding this little thin layer of white underneath, I printed this first. And now I'm going to add, oh, right. Let me show you this. I can kind of show you what it's going to look like.
And we'll just hold it up behind here. And you'll see that it already starts to make it pop. But let's print on it. I'll load this if you want to load the image.
Yep.
First, show them how we did the 8%.
So let's bring our image back in again. I'm going to rotate it because this is the orientation of our jig. And then we will set up our properties here. If I were to do the white, I would put a white underbase layer, and I'm going to change this to 8%. And I would print this 8% layer of white as a base coat. But because we've already done that, to save time today, I'm going to just do the color on top of what we've already done. So we've already done that. And now I'm going to do 2 layers of color, just like I did before. 8 pass. Everything else is the same. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm just going to hit print. We ready?
Ready.
All right, now this first layer of color took about 5 minutes to do this one. And now this will take 5 minutes as well. But I want to show it to you with a white background to show you how much brighter the colors are, how much more vibrant the yellows, the reds, the blues are with just a little bit of white behind it. Now, if I put a solid layer of white behind it, it wouldn't be translucent and it wouldn't look like glass any longer. So that's why we're just using 8% white.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point with full white, actually, didn't we do it? Oh, here you go. You want to show 1 layer of color versus 2?
Oh, sure. So here are a couple of sample images when we were testing. I kept these so that I could demonstrate some of these. So here's a quick tip for you. If you get these, what are they called? Just transparency sheets. we did some test printing on transparency sheets, so I didn't have to test print on acrylic.
Yeah. They were $3 for a 12-pack.
I got them at the clearance aisle.
We did a lot of
Acetate
testing.
sheets. Did some testing on these acetate sheets. So I'm going to give this back to you. This has 2% white and 1 layer of color. Now let's compare that to 2 layers of color, and still I think we were at about 2%.
Yeah.
Can you see the difference in color and how much more vibrant a couple of layers of color ink? They still have the same amount of white behind them, so I'm going to show you the back sides. I don't know how well you can see that there is a little bit of white behind them.
Now with the 1 layer of color, once we got it outside, it completely washed out.
Yeah, I don't, oh, you can't really see in this case. Yes, it just looked really faded and you weren't getting the really vibrant
Couldn't really
color.
see the blues or anything inside the bird, really.
But here, and I'm going to show you, well, we've got a couple other features on here. While this is printing, I'm going to show you. So not only did we add the layer of white behind the color, we've also added lead lines and texture. And we're going to show you texture in just a moment here. So it's going to be easier for me to show you what texture can do on, should I just go ahead and show this and talk through this while this is printing? Because this is what we're going to do next, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you next. We're going to do, while this is printing, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Can you go to this camera? It'll be easier for me to show up close. If you add texture to make it look like the variations in glass, you can take your print to a completely different level. So this is just ink on clear acrylic, and you could, like I said, it's not very vibrant. Here already you can see the colors popping by adding. So what I have on this is still clear acrylic, 8% white, but I've also added a layer of texture. This is still texture in the flag. And can you see that? I'm a little far away. Can you see the texture?
Yeah, I can.
Let me do it over here.
Ooh, run your nails across it.
Can you guys hear that? Little ASMR for you this morning.
Kim and Garrett, real quick, we had someone ask about enlarging, the video screen. So I just wanted to let everyone know that's watching. Right above the software screen, there is a little there are 2 lines. If you click and grab that, you can actually control which screen you would like to see enlarged. So if you would like to see the printing screen a little bit bigger, you can control that, and then you can reduce the size of the software screen.
All right, so I'm going to show you the texture again. Here we go. So hopefully now that you've gotten your screen a little bit bigger, you can see that I have just added 6 layers or 5 layers, 5 layers of clear ink, clear gloss ink on top of the white layer. This texture that we've built up here is really going to give this that look of true stained glass. So this is almost done, just a couple of more seconds. I'm going to show you what this looks like as compared to, where am I at?
The flat one.
The flat one.
We're surrounded by flags with no white behind it.
No white. This has about, I don't know.
I'm going to say 4 passes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wasn't sure when we started. I think it's like now it's 4 passes. Like
Kim and Garrett, we've got a few more questions that popped through.
Excellent.
Before we move on from this, can you guys show in the software screen again just the layer selection of that print setup, and as well as showing the percentages of adjusting those percentages?
Oh yeah,
absolutely. So we've loaded our image in the Cathari software here. Here you can see I've got 3 images loaded. Here's the color image. I just double click. I'm going to add it to the layout here. So I can open and close the layout. Here is the print setup window. Oh, I've got to re-add it. Once you run a print, you can't make changes to it. You have to basically reset it up. So you can reprint. I could have reprinted that 10 times if I wanted to. But in this case, I want to adjust the layers or show you what the layers look like. So I have to re-add the image. So again, I'm going to rotate this 180 because this is how it's oriented in our jig. And then I'm going to show you, here is the print environment. We're using white color clear. In this case, I just selected, let me go to properties and layers. I just selected color. You can choose multiple options here. This is super versatile. You can see that you can choose up to 8 layers in this software at 100% ink in each layer. We did 2 layers of color. Typically when I'm doing a print, I will do 1 layer of white, 1 layer of color, and then I would do 1 layer of clear. This is how I would print on, I don't know, what's something that we print on? Oh, our MDF. We do a lot of door signs, and when we do our MDF signs, we'll put 1 layer of white, 1 layer of color, 1 layer of clear.
And Kim, we have a question. Did you guys use RGB because your image file is made in RGB colors?
Yes, we just use the PNG.
But you can use CMYK, so you can do both.
You can do both. It will take both. We also have TIFF versions that are CMYK, but for this purpose, PNG, because PNG is quicker to load than a TIFF.
And will you guys be able to share where did you get the texture file?
The texture files, I just looked for like geometric shapes. I think I actually got them from Envato. I just searched black and white geometric patterns. That's where I got my texture from. I pulled down some asphalt, some bubbles.
We're going to create a link on our homepage. So at the end of this presentation, the last slide will have our contact information, and we're going to create a download link for you. Garrett's already put together a zip file, and we would include it here, but with the webinar software, it's not allowing us to upload a zip file. But we'll have multiple images in that file with the multiple layers and then multiple textures. He's added several different textures that you can use, because we'll show you here in a moment. You can, or well, I don't know if we'll show it in this webinar, but in our Friday video, we're going to show you how you can combine textures to give your stained glass different looks.
Yep.
So let's go back to what we just printed here. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer.
Don't be shy.
And it was great to see it against that black there. But here was the ink,
just color.
No color.
2 passes.
And that looks good. But if I add that 8% white behind it, you see it's just a little bit of white back there.
Just a frosting.
Yes, I'm already making the colors pop. There's a little comparison between those two. And then when he puts it on the bed, I know you guys were able to see that earlier, you can really tell a difference of the color behind it. Now, again, each time we do an adjustment, it looks a little bit better.
Looks a little bit better. Now, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
You know, for about $1.50 in materials, you could probably sell this $10 to $15. So that's a good chunk of change.
But if you wanted to take this to the next level and sell something like this for $20.
For just another couple of cents in ink, we're able to take it to a whole other level and get $10 more out of it. So 40 cents in ink, $10 more in profit. I'll show you how to do that
right now. So we're going to take you over to Photoshop, and he's going to do a quick overview. Now, we don't have a ton of time to really dig in and go into a more detailed view or a detailed process on how to create the textures, but we can show you very quickly. And then we're going to have that video on Friday that'll go into a little more detail. And I told Garrett he needs to create a little mini course in stained glass so that he can really show you. In this case, while he's loading that, let me show you here. There is one texture here for the stripes, And I don't know how well, I'm going to try and get it to show you for the swirls where the stars are, that's a swirl texture. And this is a different texture. So he's combined textures in this file so that it gives it a different look. So let me step out of the way and let him show you Photoshop real quick.
All right, so inside Photoshop, I have my little stained glass guy in here, and I want to add some texture. So I'm going to grab one of these texture files. I think this is the bubbles that I downloaded. Let's do bubbles because I like the way that gives it that ripply look. I'm just going to drag this in. Now, this is not bad, but what the software in Cathari does is it really looks for the black and whites. So I want to get this, the black's a little darker and the white's a little whiter. So I just do a quick, this mouse is crazy. I'm going to drag the blacks up and I'm going to drag the whites down. Say okay. I'm going to hide this layer real quick. I'm going to use my magic wand tool and I'm going to select the lead lines. Whoops.
Now talk a little bit about how you might add quickly. You don't have to go into doing all the design. If you wanted the red stripes to be one texture, you would add texture just to those areas.
Yeah, we do something similar to what I'm about to do. I'm going to bring back my texture. I'm going to select the texture lines here. And then I'm going to say, edit.
The saw is really loud, so let's just turn it off. I mean, you didn't know. I didn't know.
Oops. Select inverse. Mask. Select inverse. It's not inversing. Mask. Oops, wrong way. I didn't need to inverse it. One more. Mask. All right. I'll erase these.
Let's do it again a little smoother. Is that what you're saying?
It worked earlier when I tried it. We're going to add these to the mask.
You're gonna have to tell me what you're doing.
What I'm doing is getting sweaty.
It's not working like it's not working like it always does. Do you want to just start again so
Yeah.
that you can see it that
I'll
way?
delete it. There we go. All right. Deselect. I'm going to drag my bubbles in.
One more time. We have our image. Let's add our texture layer.
Image. Levels. Blacks up. Whites down. Okay. I'm going to select my lead lines. This isn't my typical. This isn't my desk or my computer.
So here he's just selecting the black with his magic wand tool, so it knows. So it's selected all of the lead lines.
And now I'm going to select outside the circle to include that. I'm going to bring back this top layer, this mask layer, and I'm going to mask it.
So down here at the bottom, if you hover, it's going to say mask, right?
First, I'm going to inverse it, then mask it. All right, there we go. Now I just have my my texture. And we can do an export.
Well, you want to go through it one more time? Just, it was very, very quick. It was simple. You don't have to do it again. Just say what you did.
Now we'll do it again. Now I got it. We'll do it with another. We'll do it with some geometric shapes.
You have your image file. We're going to load our texture file.
I grabbed the biggest one I could find, apparently.
Now, what are you trying to do? You were trying to say everything that, oh, that's not good. That's crazy texture.
It'll work.
So what are you trying to do? Everything that has color, you are trying to put a texture behind it.
Yeah, everything that's not a lead line, I want texture behind. I don't want texture behind my lead lines right now, because then my lead lines will look all wonky, and they'll also be different levels.
We want those smooth to look like a lead line.
Like somebody laid down some lead lines. So I have all my lead lines selected and the outside of my circle selected. I'm going to bring back my pattern, select my pattern. I'm going to inverse, so I forgot to do last time. So now I have everything but the lead lines selected.
Right.
And I'm going to say,
hover over that a second so they can see if it shows you.
This?
Yeah.
Mask?
Well, that's your mask.
Yep.
I thought maybe the tooltip would be there.
So I'll mask it. I'll hide the bottom layer again. And this is my texture. Now, to get a good texture out of this with variable heights, I'm just going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Probably, yeah. There you go. And now this will give me like a nice rippled texture throughout. So do you want to show them how you would print this texture?
Yes. So before I move back into Cathari, do we have any quick questions that we can answer as it relates to texture?
I think a majority you guys have already covered. And while we're kind of at a stopping point, and there's several ways that you could do this as far as that texture, and every application is a little bit different. But I've also, if the attendees, if you'll select the materials tab just to the right of the question bar, I did add some how-to guides of creating Braille and Alpha channels in Photoshop, Illustrator, and even Corel Draw. And this is very similar process and the same that we print Braille. You can create an alpha or a spot channel with this texture in it, and then Cathari or your RIP software will see that. And then you can differentiate of saying, okay, this texture or this Braille channel, I want it to be 4 layers, 6 layers, however many layers that is from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's at least a dozen ways to make these Braille channels. Do you want to? I'll lay this down and we can start printing the color while you talk about how you made the Braille here.
Okay. So I've already done the texture. I'm going to lay that texture file, show them what you've got in your hands. This is the texture file that we talked about. So that takes about 20 minutes. And I'm going to show you how we set that up in Cathari, but I'm going to go ahead and get it printing the color on top of that while I do the explanation. So again, in this case, because the texture is already there, I'm just going to set this up as 2 layers of color. Now, while that starts printing, I'm going to show you how I set that up, how I set the texture layer up. So Garrett created a texture file. I wonder if I can make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. Maybe this big for now.
Whoa.
Oh, that stretched it weird. I don't want to do that.
Do you do Control Z?
I don't know.
No, just re-add it. Double click it around the side.
Let me just re-add it. Delete that one. I'm going to rotate this 180. And Josh, how do I never zoom in. How do I zoom in so that they can see? I think you hit Control
Oh, you just double click on the PNG, we can zoom in. Let's try.
Yeah, we can see it good on your screen.
Oh, you can?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I just want to make sure you guys can see it. So I've added the texture file. This is what Garrett just created in Photoshop. He had exported it. I've already loaded it here as a PNG. And all it is different textures with different shades of gray. So some is a lighter gray, a darker gray, black. And what we're going to do is print this in gray gradation. I want varying heights of texture.
We want it to look wavy, like old dimpled glass.
And the gray gradation will do that. So in the areas where the image is black, you're going to get more texture. In the areas where the image is a very light gray, you're going to get less texture. So here you can see I've got multiple shades of gray and black to give you varying texture heights. So let's set that up in the print software here. So I've added the image. Now I need to tell it I want texture. So I'm going to go into my properties tab and we're going to add Braille. Braille in the Cathari software indicates texture. We're going to build layers or the varying textures, the varying heights using clear. However, you can add texture using any color you want. You can make it in black. I can build it up in black, which you'll see I'll do with the lead lines in a few minutes. You can use blue, magenta, yellow, white, or clear. In this case, we're using clear because this, again, is stained glass and I want it to look like glass. So I'm going to give this 100% Braille. Yep. 100. So now I've got 100% clear Braille. And in my layers selection, I do not want color. I want Braille. Now you get to choose how many layers of Braille you want to add. In this case, you heard me kind of scrape across the acrylic with the multiple layers of Braille. We set this up with 5 layers of Braille. And with 5 layers of Braille, this takes about 15 minutes to lay down that Braille layer, which is why I had pre-done this for this webinar, because I didn't want you to have to wait for that to print.
We'd be sitting around chatting about life.
And because you're using, you're building texture, you don't want small dots for a dot size. So we're going to leave this at 720 by 1200, 8 pass, but we're going to change our dot size to large. And that's because I'm not looking for fine detail. I'm looking for texture. So I want big blobs of ink. So dot size large. And then in the media, I'm going to go over here. Channel based will put the Braille everywhere where there's color. But what we want is gray gradation. The gray gradation here is going to have varying grades of texture. So like I said, where the light color, where light gray is, you're going to have less texture. Where black is, you're going to have more texture. That's gray gradation. So here's where I set the gray gradation.
And then there's inverse gray gradation, which is just opposite. Light colors are up top, dark colors are low.
So let me go back and show you that we set it for 100% clear Braille. I want my Braille in clear. I want 5 layers of Braille. I want a large dot size because I am using texture, and I'm going to use gray gradation. Pretty simple. That's all we had to do to create that texture layer. And then we'll hit OK. We'll hit OK, and then we would say print. And this would create the texture. And then what we've just done and what you see printing now is just 2 layers of color on top of that texture.
And an 8% frost of white.
Well, and the bottom layer, yes, was the 8% frosted white as your base. The 5 layers of Braille and 2 layers of color. Now, each of these layers, you might be thinking, okay, how long does each of these things take? So like I said, about 15 minutes for the texture. We could see it was about 5 minutes for, or almost 6 minutes for the 2 layers of color. For the white was about 50 seconds. And then we have to add another 15 minutes for the Braille lines.
Now that's looking pretty cool. You see the the spirals up in the stars. There's a spiral texture.
Yeah, there you
behind
go. See
stars.
so in this case, he added multiple textures, and this is kind of what we'll show in our Friday video.
I put some
You've got-
spirals in the stars. I put some waves in the flag stripes.
And then I don't know, does the outer edge have any different texture?
Just dimpled. It's just dimpled in here.
Now
It's
compare
dimpled
that
crazy.
to the one where we added color. Hold on here.
Yeah, I'll
Since
go
you're-
back to this camera.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Now let's get up close.
Just color and white.
So still, both of them have 2 layers of color. Both of them have 8% white, but this one's flat.
This one is not. This one is definitely going to catch and refract the light a lot more. But I still feel like it's missing a little something. It's still feeling flat. It's still not feeling real. I mean, it's looking good, and I really enjoy how the colors are standing up on top of that texture. But I think to make it look real, we're going to use the same type of system that we used for making the texture, and we're going to give it some lead lines.
So let me take you back to Photoshop real quick and show you how to add lead lines. All right, just time check for you. It's 11:50.
Ooh.
So
I'm on the clock. All right, we're going to bring back our color image at the bottom. I'm going to use my magic wand tool again. I'm going to grab the lead lines. Whoops. Let's make sure I'm on the correct active layer. I'm going to grab my lead lines. I'm going to go new layer. Kim and I had differing opinions. She's like, why don't you just copy and paste? And I was like, what if it's not a true black back there? I want to make sure this thing looks true black. So I'm going to drag it all the way down and give myself true black. Okay. Making sure my new layer is active. I'm going to go to my paint bucket. This is a new install of Photoshop. I don't know where anything is. I'm going to just click right on the canvas. Now, if I hide my color layer, there's my lead lines.
he basically painted the lead lines onto the new layer. And now we're going to export this, and we're going to do gray gradation with just the black lines.
So same thing, export as a PNG. All right, have at it, Kim.
And so from there, I'm going to take you back to the Cathari software and show you how I would set up that print. So I've already added here, this is the texture, this is the lead lines. So let me delete this one and move this one down. Again, I'm going to rotate it because it comes in upside down. You can see my flag would be upside down. And it would be fine. I could print it upside down, no big deal. But the orientation of our jig with the little holes at the top for hanging the stained glass, I need to rotate this 180 degrees. And then I'm going to set it up the same way. I want the black lead lines to have texture. So I'm going to go into my properties panel. And this time I want Braille. Well, are we going to do a mixture? Are we going to do white and,
Oh yeah, I
and,
was doing 100% clear, 50% black to give me that translucent leadish look.
So it's like so yeah, I guess that's what he's saying.
As the 50% black builds up, it'll look darker and darker.
And now I'm going to add extra layers. I want these lead lines to set up higher than the texture in the flag. So I'm going to add 2 more layers of Braille so that the lead lines set up just a little bit higher.
That way it looks like the glass is inside the lead.
And we're going to keep everything else the same. We want this dot size to be large because we are building texture, and we want gray gradation. We want the black lines to be the highest point. And then I have it set up properly, and now I'll just hit print. And in this case, well, do you want me to go ahead and start printing it?
Yep.
This is going to take 20 minutes, so we don't have time for this to finish, but I have a finished version to show you.
Oh,
So
wait,
we'll
did I
let
put the
that
right one
load.
there? Hold on.
Do you need to hit cancel? Where are you?
I think I put the wrong one on here. Is this is the one without the lines?
Yes.
I did put the wrong one on here. Is this have lid lines?
No.
Oh, we have two without lid lines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was right.
We do now. We do now. I had one
Sorry.
set up and we just created one. I need to resend it again. He canceled it. He's nervous. Now, while that loads.
Oh, yeah, here's the one with lid lines. Oh, you can tell.
Right. So while that continues to print here and adding the lead lines, let's show you what that looks like.
We'll get a close up over here. See, now you can see that the lines are looking raised.
There you go.
Probably could have gone another pass on these to make it look a little more raised, like it was truly embedded.
Right. You can go up to 8 layers, so maybe we should have put another 8th layer.
Yeah, I think this was just 7.
And in person, you can really see it. He just wants you to be able to really see it on camera. And you can see that the lead lines actually set up higher than the texture in the blue, the color layers there, the blue, the yellow, and the red. Now compare those two. Let's go the other.
Let's go back to the flat one. Flat. It's kind of look like a window cling. I don't think you're gonna get $25 for this guy. 10, maybe 15. But boom, look at this guy. Refracting the light.
Yeah, let's see if you can really show there. Adding the lead lines, adding the texture takes this from just a flat colored print to actually looking like stained glass.
I want to go back forward, and then we'll show you each of the versions.
Right. While you do that, let me go over our ROI numbers.
So here's just 2 layers of color. Looks okay. Here's 2 layers of color with a little 8% white.
Well, let's show the color again.
Make it pop.
So this is 12 cents in ink.
12 cents in ink.
We're at $1.83 in acrylic and 12 cents of ink for just the color.
Not bad.
Now,
this wouldn't be bad for like shrink it down, make it a car charm kind of thing.
Now for this one, this is the color and the white at 8%. The white only adds 1 cent in ink. So now you're at $1.83 plus the 12 cents of color and 1 cent for the white ink.
Not bad. I'd say $10. The type of thing that you'd see in like gift shops.
Cheap gift shops.
Yeah, like a cheap, like I'm thinking beach gift shop. Like you grab your towels, some flip-flops, and your stained glass.
$5, yeah.
All right, here we go. We have some texture. And I think you can already start to tell the difference just inside.
Right? So
you
here,
can see that the light is catching those little things and causing shadows and highlights, whereas this one's looking flat.
we talked about it before. So the acrylic is $1.83. The color layers are 12 cents. The white layer is 1 cent, and adding the texture just added 41 cents.
41 cents. But I feel like I'm getting close to being able to sell this for $25 now because of the texture. And I think once the lead lines come in, $25.
Right. So now let's talk about the cost of this one. Again, $1.83 for the acrylic, 1 cent for the white layer, 41 cents for the texture layer, 12 cents for the color layer, and 83 cents for the lead lines. because we had more layers of texture on there.
We went deep.
The total for this one is $3.17 to print and the materials, the acrylic plus the ink, $3.17.
So for about $1.50, you get about 10 to 15 more dollars in perceived
return
value.
on your investment.
Yeah.
Yep. So we
Kim and
can sell
Garrett, on that final print, I know that was several different jobs, but roughly how long do you estimate that one took beginning to end?
beginning to end was about 45 minutes.
Yep. And obviously for the attendees, if you're printing a whole bed of these, it would be considerably faster.
Yes, considerably
Yeah.
faster. If I printed 2 at one time, it's not going to take nearly as long because the head is already moving back and forth.
Well, when we get ready for a show, I just fill the bed and then I'll print. I'll hear it stop. I'll come in, load the next file, print. So it's doing its thing while I'm doing my thing in the other room. But yeah, I think we can get eight on the bed.
Mm-hmm. So, well, at least, right? Oh yeah, 8 total.
Mm-hmm. But when we're doing the ornaments, we get a lot more ornaments, and those go a lot faster.
Well, you could get more than that because I can get 3 across here at 24. These are only 8 inches. Well, maybe squeeze them in at 24,
Yeah.
right?
Well, with the jig, I think I was able to set it up with 8.
8, okay.
Good.
All right, now this is going to.
We did
Go
get
ahead,
sorry to cut you off. We got a few final questions. Of that final print that you had with the lead lines and everything, can you just roughly go through that process of each layer or that job and how many layers? Not going into the software, but just explain how many files and what was involved with each file you printed.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So
there's 3 files in the end when we're done.
We created 3 files.
We have a color file, and with the color file, we run the base white. And then we have the texture file. With the texture file, we run the Braille clear. And then we come back to the color file, and we'll run that at 2 passes of color. And then we'll come in with the third file, which is the lead lines, and then we'll run that at 8. What did we just say? 8 passes?
8 passes, or 7. We did it at 7.
7.
5 layers for the texture and 7 layers. You were saying we could add
I would have
another
went 8.
one.
When I do it again, I'm going 8.
Well, you can see it in person a lot better than we're probably able to really show you on camera, but it really pops in person.
They pop better outside.
Oh, right. I wish I could take it outside and show you.
And on the lead lines, you combine 50% black with the clear, correct? And the same layers.
Mm-hmm.
So let me show you a couple of others.
We tried black on black, and it just looked too thick.
So we did everything today using the flag file.
So this was with black, 100% black and 100% clear. And it just looks a little square and thick. So we backed down the black a little bit.
Here, let me show you this one. Oh, I thought I was going to hand it to you.
Oh.
Here is a hummingbird file that we put together. This is in the download files. We've run it the same way. It has its own texture, and there's texture in the color. And I wish I can, let me see if I can get up real close. There you go. You see
the bubble pattern.
His body. He used a different texture for the body, the white and the blue. And these here are another texture. And then the flowers, I think, are a third texture. Didn't you put a different texture behind the actual flower petals?
So behind the flower petals, I used like a distressed paper. Behind all the behind all the blue glass, I used the bubbles that we did earlier. So this is what the bubbles look like. And then behind the bird, I used broken ice.
And now we have one more file to show you.
Yeah, one more file. This will also be in the download. It's a B file.
This is a bumblebee.
And this one I used the bubble file throughout the entire job, just like we did.
So here, I'm going to get up real close so that you can kind of see the texture. Here, you can see it right in here. The texture in where the honeycombs are.
Now, there are a couple of other things that I did to the file to make the lead lines looking a little more rounded. I added a stroke of 50% gray around the lead lines just to try to give it that more rounded look. So it wouldn't get as square.
Let's see if I can show you that real quick. I'm going to show you the difference in what he's saying. The lead lines on this guy
Are just black.
I can't show you. There's no way I can show you on camera. But the lead lines here have a little more, they're a little rounded, more like you would see actual lead.
Kim and Garrett, we have a couple of questions about how folks can access the files. So can you walk them through how they could get both the bird and the bee file?
So what we're going to do is we're going to put a download link on our website on the main page. You will be able to see it. We didn't do it in advance because we thought we would be able to include them here. So because it wouldn't, the zip file has so much content in it for you, we couldn't actually load it here. So give us probably the rest of the day, a couple of hours, and we'll create that. So on the last slide, yes, here we are. Here's our information. If you go to kngmakeit.com, or if you scan the QR code, that's going to take you to our link tree so that you can see all of our socials, including our website, as well as our YouTube channel. That's the QR code. But our website is kngmakeit.com. We will have a link right on the front page so you can see. It's going to be very obvious, and we'll leave it there for a couple of weeks so that you guys can access those files and download them.
Yeah, so go grab some lunch. By the time you're done with your lunch, I'll have them up on the site.
All right, thank you, Kim and Garrett. A few items I wanted to share with all the attendees. The acrylic we use today, it was supplied by Houston Acrylic, and this can be purchased if you go to LogoJET's website and go to supplies and media blanks. We have those available there. As well as many of the features that we discussed on Cathari. If you have any questions on that, if you click in the upper right-hand corner of your Cathari, you'll see a little question mark that'll access the user manual. Many users don't know that's there, but it's several hundred pages, and it's very easy to do a Control F and find any tool or any feature that you want to learn about. It's got that in there. As well, if you go to LogoJET's customer portal, if you go to our website under support, and on the bottom right, you'll see a window for customer portal. And that will let you access our community portal, which has plenty of things from videos to applications. Actually, this webinar will be posted on there. You can view it, as well as knowledge base of your specific printer, different applications, troubleshooting. It's a very, very useful thing, and this is totally free to all of our customers. And from there, as I mentioned, if you have any questions for Kim and Garrett, you can contact them on their website and the QR link there. If you have any questions as far as LogoJET, you can reach us at sales@logojet.com, and we'd be glad to speak with you and learn more about your business and applications. From there, thank you, Kim and Garrett. It was an awesome presentation. I know it's hard to cover this in 1 hour, but we hope this kind of sparked a little bit of the creativity that's possible with UV printing and printing textures.
Yes. Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate you taking the time and watching the presentation. I hope, yes.
Yeah, I hope you guys found this useful. I want to see what you guys make.
All right, thank you, everyone. Happy printing. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day.